Hey yo, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today we're gonna give you a little update on what's going on at the ranch, preparing for winter. Got some nice fall projects in the yard and down in the gardens going on, in the tree farm as well. And little baby Stella is in a great mood here with her mommy. And my good friend Colin up in Boston, he sent his little logo onesie to Stella, the Boston Bonsai idiot. Really good dude. And I just recently found out that he has videos on his YouTube channel. So go ahead, check him out. The Boston Bonsai Idiot. Thanks a lot for the onesie, Colin. And so, yeah, more of an update video today. Not so much bonsai per se, but I will talk about the plans for the bonsai moving forward this year and the trees in the tree farm. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, let's take a spin around the main floor of the inside of the ranch, and then we'll hit the porch and the main grounds. So if you'll notice the indoor trees, I really made a conscious effort to try to find a nice location for each tree and plant to kind of shine through and maximize their beauty and also viewability because I had them really on top of each other before. So I really feel like I upgraded there this autumn, as well as we have our butternut squash, buttercup squash, carnival squash, and pumpkins all curing for a couple of weeks. So we leave them out for decorations, little clusters around the inside of the house. So take a look. We grew all those here at the ranch, including the pumpkins outdoors. So we were pretty proud of that because it was our first year attempting to grow these types of things. You know, normally we do tomatoes and peppers. This year we expanded into the pumpkin and winter squash categories and really paid off. So take a look at the trees and notice the spoils of our labor. Going to be good eats this winter. All right, so we're starting in Stella's room, the nursery. Got a nice little window box, and a Delonix regia has popped up. This is the third year in a row the same cycle of seeds has popped up randomly, so it's really exciting. So that's her first Delonix regia. Quick little spin around the nursery. Oh, go back. This little plant has taken off. It's planted in a little bassinet Laura had gotten me when she found out she was pregnant. Pretty cool. Her mom painted those. I'm doing this voiceover because Stella is screaming in the background in real life. So I hope you can appreciate that. Here's another window box style planting with some blue jacaranda and that same white flowering plant. I can't remember the name of it, but it's really cool. My mammoth spider plant. Or excuse me, not spider plant, my mammoth pencil cactus. There's spider plants galore all over the place, you see. That's the point where that's a money tree cutting. It's getting to the point where I'm like, I can't give these things away. That is a cherimoya vine, yet to fruit. It's on year 3. I have a couple of those. It's a Schefflera on top of a lava rock. Actually, it came from Hawaii. Money tree clump style. Some bamboo. More bamboo. Some pencil cacti. And those are all from the mother plant that you saw in the fireplace, each one of them. So even the cuttings are getting to be some pretty cool plants now. On the back wall, we have those glass votives all mounted in the shape of just above these holiday and Christmas cacti. Wait, there we go, in the shape of an infinity symbol. And this is actually a handmade wood-burned clock I got for Laura for our first anniversary. You're supposed to either get like a watch or something made of wood, so I combined the two. That's Norfolk Island pine. Actually, those Norfolk Island pines and the huge ones just to the right of your view right now, I'm going to be repotting soon. They've just been out of the long window box style terracotta pot that I want to put them in. That right there, I'm going to take a lot of height out of it. We're going to make an awesome forest scene. I can't wait for that. That's coming sometime soon as my go-to store reloads its terracotta supply. And there's that hanging plant. Once again, the house plant with the nice white flowers. As you can see, it's a nice accent. That's why I use it. All of those carnival squash we grew in the garden, and they take 2 weeks to just kind of like cure out in the sun and kind of dry out, and then we'll store them for the winter for as long as they'll store, as long as they last, down in the basement. Hey, Bob Ross. Some succulents here. This is just an old bookcase I knocked the back out of for lack of a better place to put some of my bonsai. Some New Mex chili peppers. They're on their 3rd year, going strong. The white peppers are turning to purple right now in their cycle. They do the full cycle. They go white, yellow, purple, orange into bright red. It's really friggin' awesome, especially when they're all doing it at different times. Another one of those plants, tying it all together. Just a nice little display, some cacti, some succulents, jade plant. We'll get outdoors in a minute and I'll show you all of those trees. That little statue, it like flashes light. I got it under the Eiffel Tower, and you know, it was maybe $3, but totally worth it because I remember it like it was yesterday. The pathos is growing wild. Got it up and around the walls and down, going into a couple different rooms. Really excited about that because during one English Premier Soccer game a year ago, maybe probably a year and a half ago, most of the lot scored, and I took off sprinting to the kitchen, my arms up, and I took the pot and knocked it off, and it exploded, and I had to really cut it back a lot to get it to survive. Yes. The moss is surviving on the kokedama, and those have olive trees in it. Probably not the best to plant in a kokedama, but it's working for now. This corner, this is kind of the monster plant room. There's a calla lily. This is a planting of 3 baobab trees there. Yes, ponytail palm, desert rose. And then we have a nice grouping of pineapple guava. Nice little forest planting. I love this one. The trunks are starting to get like a reddish hue and some nice texture to them. Really cool. And that's a fig from a cutting that's gone wild. Nice little wandering Jew, silver-bladed wandering Jew, I believe they're called. Little accent plant coming down beneath. I have Dilonyx regia to the right, bamboo in the middle, some cactus below, and then that fig to the left. I really love that planter in the corner there. You see those Dilonyx regia? I could almost treat each branch as its own tree. They're so far from each other. And that is from a cutting, so it does work. The jades, my daughter Francesca's jade, recovering from a hard prune. That is a specimen of a baobab tree. And that's my jade tree recovering as well. This is a dead western red bud that I just love so much. The shape of it, I kept it. I don't know, maybe I'll use it as like an accent in a forest planting or something one day, as long as it doesn't rot or break. Okay, it is a foggy morning. So out here is a pond, and actually going up, tracing my finger, is a state park mountain with a trail and a tower that we can't even see because of the high humidity and fog. But anyways, that's pretty cool. So just wanted to show you the state of everything going into what would be the dormant period. We're in autumn, so apparently most of these trees are already making their prep. There's a blue jacaranda. I like these budding out outdoors. They actually get like a reddish hue to them. Beautiful. Here is my 5 sycamores, London plane trees, blueberry. Talk about a sacrificial branch thickening the trunk. This thing has got all of the vigor. A winterberry, a male variety, no berries on that one. Got this nice little sago palm. This is the one I pruned everything off of this year, and the foliage came in much smaller and manageable. Before, it was out like 4 feet in every direction, and it looks like we're actually going to get a second bloom. That's awesome. That never happens 2 in 1 year. I put my red gum tree, or lemon scented gum. No, that's a red gum. Red gum out here because it kept getting bugs, and the branches were dying off indoors. It seems to love it out here. This is my strawberry pot, basically pre-bonsai. And I was thinking, if somebody has an apartment with just a small balcony, they could literally have 13, I think there's 13 holes in there, 13 bonsais going in a very small area. So that's what I would do if I had an apartment. Luckily, I have tons of room here. So this is a blue jacaranda that was struggling, but it is budding. So I put all of my blue jacarandas in my Delonix regias outdoors. Well, not all of them. All of the ones that were being bothered by white flies and such. Here's my Delonix, my first bonsai. It's looking epic for it. I mean, I'm just in love with it. My little pine forest this year, I did a bunch of them. They're coming into their own. Birch trees, the alcovas are looking beautiful. I can't believe how slow these Japanese maples actually grow. It's incredible. I've had them for a few years now, and they get more branching and more of a canopy each year, but I still can't even prune them because they're just not even they don't get out of shape because they don't grow. So this forest is coming along. I wanted a really, really congested forest with tall pines that almost have like Q-tip tops and nothing until they get to the top, hugging each other. Thick thuja, a couple of blue spruce at the front to mimic what we have here in Connecticut. You get into a trail and you look left, look right, look up, and it's just dense forest. It's beautiful. I can't wait to, this is one of my few Yamadori success stories. I don't like the pot that it's in, and it's time for a styling, but it has really gotten some nice branching since I've gotten it. It really just had like 3 little poofs, 3 branches with 1 bud on each when I collected it. So I'm really pleased with that after a few years. So I'm going to put some shape to it and put it in a better pot this coming spring. Some more pines. It's a Juniper horizontalis, I believe. Got a little hemlock down here. That's another Yamadori. Very slow grower. This is 3 years. Really pleased this year with all of the progress. This is, I believe, the female winterberry. Like my pines that I grew from seed are all really starting to become trees. Here's wow, the spider went crazy. Here is a sweet birch. Didn't have a lot of growth or ram or anything this year, but those are nice healthy buds. So I don't know, maybe it just didn't like its pruning in spring and it takes a while to recover. Every species is different, especially if they're not like specifically meant to be in your area. They might not do what they would normally do in their natural area. So, or growing region. So this is a black locust forest, and it's just gnarly and crazy. Look at this one. That one trunk crawling across the ground. That's what I love about black locust. They do that in New York. That's a prominent deciduous tree. And they're crazy. They're a lot of fun. This thuja, it's going to need some lower trunk work. Some dead wood taken out of there. You see my trident maples, all different shades. This being clearly my favorite. This is the one that's getting planted in the yard this coming spring. Some Kentucky yellowwoods didn't do that well this year. I know they're alive. That's all these. Some thuja. I will never make the mistake of pruning them in fall like I did last year. It really has taken them this full year to kind of recover. And next year in spring, I'll get some of the height out of them. But they really didn't get any back budding from pruning them in fall. So my mistake. Canary Date Island palm tree. From seed, finally getting some of these really gnarly branches, which they're famous for. That and thorns. Yeah. And then these are the racks that I'm going to put in the basement for when we put away our butternut squash and pumpkins and such so that they stay stored in a cool, dry place so they last longer. So we've got a beautiful Connecticut morning here. I'm gonna get working on that garden. All right, so here we are at the front of the property. It is a couple days later because, man, did weeding bunny farms take forever, but I am pleased with how it turned out. So, the entryway, rolled these big tree trunks up here. Actually, the smaller one was more difficult than the large one because it wasn't exactly round, so it wanted to fall over the whole time. So I have a couple of weeping Norwegian spruce on there. See a little bit larger size, more like a Japanese garden tree in these nice large concrete pots. Got lots of construction going on the street. We got million and up mansions going up there, 4 to 5 acres on the main road and then up to 20 on the back. So it's nice and busy. I'm one of the original old ranches and I'm happy to keep it that way. This is one of my favorite trees I have. All right, and this huge sugar maple, I had the pleasure of weeding around its surface roots. And so I left those exposed and just mulched outside of them, right where they went into the ground. Oh man, I hope you're getting to appreciate it, even with this terrible lighting. It's just beautiful. It's like what I want my trident maples to look like when they grow up. So pretty much mulched in all the trees, gave them a nice pruning around the birch, the apple over there. The maples I left a little lower for coverage, and they're softer when they hit me when I'm mowing the lawn, but the birch and the apple trees, they had to get, their canopies had to get raised. So I just have some antique lawn equipment, some seasonal flowers, the mums, and then I have a blue spruce that is in recovery from a poor pruning when I was a very young bonsai guy. Now in my 4th year, my 2nd year, I messed that guy up. A little antique chimenea and my Bob Marley weeping Norwegian spruce. I absolutely love him. I might have to bring him up a little bit because I don't want to take any of the canopy off. So I might have to tilt him up and repot to there. Yeah. Okay. So moving right along. Fraser firs looking nice, primed for a very drastic pruning coming this early spring, late winter. Got my pre-bonsai garden here. A hickory, some rows of Sharon. There's some maples in there. My winterization area. Gonna have them all hunkered down in that mulch, hugged together nicely, half on display. A little spruce landscape, some blueberry bushes. These are 50 of my spruce trees hanging out. You know, we've got the chicken coop area over there for the flock. I'm gonna throw these pavers actually in as steps in the garden as I mulch. That's the only part of the garden I still have. I got this crib that after we got it for Stella, we found out it was nice antique wood. We found out that it was actually banned for choking infants. So we decided to upgrade, get a nice new one that was fully safe, yada yada. So there you go. All the trees down the side. And then boom, boom. Those are strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries. So those are perennial. So I didn't pull those, we just weeded it. And then there's a third garden back there that had pumpkins and squash. So the soil's nice and de-weeded around the edges of the mulch. So I'm gonna fluff the mulch and add grass clippings and leaves to the soil for winter. And then I staged all the tomatoes and peppers back there. This way I can arrange them how it works come spring for best flow of the garden. I learned, like, you know, this year what areas they liked and didn't like. They did not like this corner, so that's why I chose to do the compost here. Plus this is the closest to the house, so it's easy. Let the chickens out, feed the chickens, toss the day before's compost in there. So I'm psyched. Property shaped up just in time for the international soccer break to be over so that I can watch English Premier League and Champions League, and I'm so excited. I feel like I worked my butt off and I earned it. So anyways, hope y'all are enjoying the transition from summer into autumn. It's actually been quite beautiful, and it's supposed to be the rest of October. So from my family to yours, have a great time, y'all. Great day. Most of all, a great weekend. Get outside and enjoy some full-size trees that motivate us to grow the miniature ones. I'm Jared Paul here for Jarhead Bonsai. Cheers, y'all.